Hello and welcome to The Money Honey, a show that brings together women in property, finance, and construction. I'm your host, Rosalia Lazzara-Tilley, the CEO of Manuka Media. The reason I started this podcast was for two reasons. One, I've been in all of those three industries. I've been in construction, finance, and also property. And I would have loved something like this when I was starting out, especially when I had my first job in recruitment in construction. I really felt like I was in a man's world and I really didn't know where I fitted in. I knew I wanted to be taken seriously, but I didn't want to lose my sassy feminine side. So I really would have preferred to have had better leadership, better support in the industry where I could look to other women and look up to other people in the industry who had survived and thrived in that kind of workplace. So that was my first reason. My second reason was because after 7 years and counting in financial services, I've been able to create a very powerful support network. I'm surrounded by amazing men and women who have supported me through the industry, and we support one another. And it was because of some comments on LinkedIn where people were really asking for this to be born. I could see women commenting on LinkedIn saying, "Where are all the podcasts with the women? We don't see enough women out there." And I thought, it's nearly 2023. Why is this still a taboo subject? Why is this still happening? And so people were turning to me because I seem to be on LinkedIn, apparently, very much. Everyone was messaging me saying, "Ros, is there something you can do about this? Could you start a podcast? Could you interview some women? Could you get some women out there?" And I thought, well, I like talking and I know loads of women and they inspire me. So here we go. So I started. This is how you say it, by the way. If you're listening to the show for the first time, I want you to forever now, from now on, say it like this. This is how you say it. The money, honey. Okay, that's how you're supposed to say it. And if you're watching this as a video, if you're watching this as a video, you would have just seen me flick my hair, do my little head tilt and use my fingers in the air and say, "It's the money, honey." That's the show because it means so many different things. Okay, so let's break it down. Obviously, my business being Manuka Media, it's bee related, it's honey. If you've never heard of Manuka, I don't know, you need to check in with your immune system. You need some Manuka honey in your life. Okay. So it is so good for you. It's got amazing health benefits and it's antibacterial. It's really, really great for you. And it's really rare and hard to find. And it's the most expensive honey out there. So do you get what I'm saying? The money honey. The money honey also means it's the real deal. Like, this is the money honey. This is where the money's at. Okay. So that is the theme of my brand. And then thirdly, it's honeys in a world of money. So finance. And that is why the show was born and called The Money Honey. Also, I didn't want to be. So when I created this business and it was around the bee theme and the honey theme, everyone was asking me, "Oh, so what are you, like the queen bee?" And I was actually receiving gifts from clients and even family members with like loads of bee related. I'm just currently holding up a coaster, loads of bee related gifts, and also one that says like the queen bee on it. And I thought, no, I never saw myself to be the queen bee because this is not like an ego condition that I've got where I'm like, no, I've got to be the one wearing the crown and I'm the one at the top. Because in my opinion, the way bees work, okay, there is a queen bee, but without all the thousands of millions of bees that are working together as a community, doing their own little bit in society, we wouldn't have a queen bee. She would die. So I'm nothing if I haven't got you guys. I'm nothing if I haven't got my community, my support network, my friends, my family. And I kind of just see myself as like a little bee, buzzing around. I can't believe I was just about to buzz there like a bee. But yeah, I just see myself as like a little bee and I'm there spreading the pollen, spreading positivity, but I can't build a whole meadow on my own. You've got to come in on it with me, right? So that's what I call positive pollination, is that I spread a bit of pollen, you spread a bit of pollen. We're all doing our little pollen spreading. And then before you know it, we've got the most mesmerizing lavender fields, right? So I kind of see myself as just a worker bee amongst everybody else. I don't see myself as the queen bee. I don't have this like syndrome where I need to be wearing the crown. We've all got a crown, and that's where this show is going to highlight that. I found myself, I felt that, I don't know if you agree listening to this, but most of my clients are men. Okay, so this show, by the way, has got nothing against men. In fact, I will be interviewing men too, because there are so many male cheerleaders out there rooting for us, supporting us, and giving us our voice and place in the industry and trying to bring that balance into the industry. So we will be getting lots of men on the show. Plus, 96% of my clients are all male because of the industry. Of course, there are more male brokers than there are women brokers. But this show is predominantly going to be highlighting women, those who are experienced, those who are entrants in the industry. And that's because what I noticed was I felt that, and again, I don't know if you agree with this, but I felt that women struggled to talk about themselves. I found that it's easier to get a man on the show than it is to get a woman to do a video or to talk about themselves, because they've got a lot of stereotype, a lot of, limiting beliefs and a lot of misconceptions, and they kind of tend to be quietly successful, right? Don't compare yourself to me. I've got masculine energy and feminine energy, if you know what that's all about. But yeah, I think I've had to grow. I've never been like this, like since day one. I've not always been like this. I have had to, like I said, I've been in property and construction and finance and advertising, and I've had to build and nurture that masculine energy that I have within myself. So I've had to build that up. That's what I wanted to create, a safe space for women to come here and just to simply talk about themselves. And I don't mean in a braggy way. No one needs to be, even men or female, like we're not bragging. We're just talking about the projects that we're working on, us in the industry, our place in the industry, how we see the future of financial services, how we see the construction world, how we see property market. So it's just about highlighting the women, giving them a place to come on here in a safe way, have a casual chat. In fact, the podcasts that you'll be listening to are the first ones that I asked were definitely like 97% of them were already my friends. And I'd say 3% of them I just met through social media and thought, you know what, they seem like a laugh. Let's get them on the show. So anybody, absolutely anybody can be on the show. If you have a story, if you have an experience that you'd like to share, if you've got an event or some sort of activity or charity work that you're doing, that you're working on, it doesn't have to be about work. It can be about anything that you're doing outside of work as well. That, again, going back to that bee story, how are you making a positive impact? What is your positive pollination story that you're sharing with the world? That's exactly what this show is all about. I want to hear your positive stories, and I want to see you back yourself up. So come on the show if you want to back yourself up. And if you want to nominate anybody that you know and you think actually they should be on the show, they inspired me, they're going to inspire millions of other people, then absolutely they should be on the show. Because if you know something, don't keep it a secret, share it. Come on here and see what we can learn from you. And I promise you, you will 1000% be learning from the amazing guests that are on this show. I've got some amazing, very senior women in lending. I've got women from property who are running their own property development business. I've got other leaders within like the BDM world, servicing the broker community. So there's lots of variety, and there's lots of people here really sharing their true selves, and they're being passionate, and they're also trying to change a life. Like, even if one person listens to this and thinks, wow, like I want to get into finance, or actually I want to start my own property portfolio, because if she can, I can. That's exactly the purpose of this podcast. So that's all you need to know, guys. That is the show. I hope you enjoy. Make sure, please do me a favor and make sure you like and subscribe so that you actually get notified when there's a new person on the show. That way you'll get this notification. You can listen on your commute to work or at home whilst you're making a cup of tea. Each show is only about 20 minutes. So please make sure that you subscribe and like and share this. If you need people in your life, or if you want your friends or family or colleagues to be inspired and you want them to see that there are other women like them and that there is support out there in the industry, then this is the show to definitely save in your favorites. That's it from me for now. I'm Rosalia Lazzara again from Manuka Media, and this is The Money Honey.